My name is Franziska Boenisch, and I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the Vector Institute. I'm supervised by Professor Paperno and mainly working on the intersection of privacy and machine learning. Currently, I have two big research thrusts. The first is centered around the topic of individualized privacy. So what we have usually in machine learning is that if we want to introduce privacy is introduced on a population level. So all individuals always get the same amount of privacy. But this, of course, does not reflect what really happens in society, where we have individuals that have different preferences when it comes to their privacy, that have different requirements also to be protected on different levels. So I'm researching on ways how we can set individualized privacy levels and then train machine learning models that respect this amount of individualized privacy and at the end leak disparately much information about the data points. The second research direction that I'm working on is federated learning. And here I'm also mainly concerned with the privacy aspects. So I'm trying to study where privacy of the users that participate in this decentralized protocol, where this could leak. And then I'm trying to look into mitigations. So how can we prevent that if users participate in the federated learning protocol, how can we prevent that their data leaks to some other users or to some companies? So I think the impact is twofold. The first aspect is that people's awareness is raised. In my first work on the federated learning privacy, we, for example, discovered that federated learning, it has severe privacy risks for individuals. And federated learning is still applied in applications that each of us interacts with every day. For example, it's integrated in the Google keyboard. It is integrated in the Apple keyboard, the health data. So it interacts with much of our sensitive data that we generate each day. And just discovering that there is potential for privacy leakage, I think is important for society, such that people can act accordingly. And I think it also puts the companies who employ the protocol on the spot to implement dedicated protection to protect individuals. And the second impact is to really allow individuals also to reason about their privacy preferences and enable them to basically obtain the privacy levels that they actually want. You can think of it a bit as like the cookies that you have nowadays. On each website, you're asked exactly what cookies do you consent to, and you have the option to say that you do not consent to any, or you can consent to some of them. And I want to implement the same for machine learning privacy, just that individuals can have a choice on how much privacy they really want to contribute. And thereby, I think this allows us as a society to just have a more fine-grained control on our privacy leakage and have our preferences basically respected. The only thing that you need to bring is curiosity, because the field of AI is moving extremely fast. Basically, if you look at the sheer number of papers that are published around artificial intelligence, you will find that these are hundreds every week. So the first thing is just to look into everything and to find definitely something that you're interested in. And I think based on the broad variety, there's something interesting for everyone. And then you just need to stay on top, I think, by following latest research, by following products, by following companies and what they start employing. And I think then you're good to go. Oh, I joined Vector for multiple reasons. The first reason is that Vector has amazing facilities. So first of all, if you look at it from a machine learning research perspective, you need a lot of resources in terms of GPU. And Vector has this huge GPU cluster that you can use. It's very well maintained, and you can work with that very easily and run large-scale experiments, which are nowadays needed if you want to publish at the top-tier venues. The second aspect is that Vector has great faculties. So I was super excited to join Nicolas Paperno's lab, because he's one of the best people in that field, and being able to work with such people, I think you learn a lot. So since I joined Vector, I learned incredibly much from him and from the lab. And the next thing is that there's a good resource also in terms of other people, like your colleagues who are there. I think Vector attracts a very diverse, very interesting set of people who work on various topics of artificial intelligence, and I think that's just a super nice environment to work in. And finally, I think it's also nice, like based on the proximity to the University of Toronto, there are many students who want to join Vector, so it's usually easy to find students to collaborate with and to run research with. And so all in all, it's just a great environment.